This is the Red All Over, slightly delayed, well, slightly probably quite generous to us, very delayed reaction show to Barnsley's magnificent 1-0 win against Wycombe that definitely saw a goal a season contender snatch 3 points for the Reds. Let's get into it. Tom, I'll come to you first, actually, replacing Tracy and Craig. So we are making his way through the subs bench at this point. Yeah. What did you reckon to Tuesday night? 'Cause obviously, a very lackluster performance in the first half, but what a weird way to win a game.
Yeah, bizarre is the only thing I can describe it as. Couldn't believe the referee didn't give us a foul when I was there. But I said to Joe, who sits behind me, it went down so soft. It weren't. You were obviously. I feel like you were trying to get him booked. It were almost. He almost leans into him to just sort of. I pick ball up. I'm going to lean into him. I'm going to throw my centre floor, and hopefully I can get a free kick, maybe get him booked, and waste a bit more time. And he just went so wrong for him. It just. But yeah, just what a way to open your account. I mean, it's just probably one of the most memorable goals at Oakwell. I mean, not for the right reasons, but it's going to be talked. I mean, it has been talked about all week, and you know, at least we've been talked about in a slightly positive way rather than as we were last week.
Rather than be kicked out FA Cup.
Yeah,
it's nice. It's a nice space we spoke about. Andy, obviously, it is sort of the big talking point of the game, and I think when you watch it on the replays as well, it does look like the keeper sort of does lean into Cosgrove again, looking to waste more time, which at that point, as it's come about from a foul on the keeper, drop ball, he's taking his time then to pick it back up to waste a little bit more time. And realistically, if you launch it down into our half, we'll take 5 minutes to build play back up and bring it back in, and they probably won if they kicked it long. Drew, sorry.
Yeah, could well have done. I think. What can you say? I mean, there were 91 minutes before that were pretty much the same as we've had before. Our first half, passing it back, not really getting anywhere, looking a bit suspect. If Wycombe had been better up front, they might well have scored a couple from the weak defending on the right. That we've said week after week. I'm not going to keep going on about it, but I am. But that needs to change. Yet again, needs to change. Second half, again, we went about it a bit more. We had a bit more purpose. Don't know why we can't do it from the first minute. Why we got to wait till the 46th minute, but we did. We pushed forward again and looked a bit more purposeful. But it weren't going to happen, was it? I mean, I don't know about you. I was sat at the top of flipping east and absolutely flipping freezing. I'd got so many layers on. It was ridiculous. And it weren't great, was it? It weren't the scintillating game that I'd expected it to be. You know, it was against Wycombe. I expected it to be a real scintillating game. What that goalkeeper were doing is utterly beyond me. The referee, dear, flipping heck, that referee throughout the match, he was letting the game flow. So if somebody looked at somebody funny and went down, he continued. If somebody took somebody out, like we had Jallo taken out, and like we had MDG absolutely taken out, play on. Not even a foul, play on.
My kind of ref him. My kind of ref.
Should have been a sending off. You know, especially against Wycombe, should have been a sending off, not even a foul, because he wanted it to flow that much.
Stop him. He booked him. He booked Killian Phillips. He gave him a yellow card when he took MDG out.
Oh, I didn't get a foul.
He did.
Did he?
Yeah.
I don't think he had.
Yeah, he gave him a yellow card. It should have been a red card for Killian Phillips. Straight in front of dugout.
I'll bow to your better judgment then, Al. Do you think? I think it were a penalty on Jallo. I think he just got flattened. But anyway, so we get 91st minute. We're pushing forward, not looking like we're going to score. Pushing forward, because you know, even with things like long throws, Cotter's long throws, we don't. I don't know why we bother, because we don't even challenge for it. It's we got a long throw, go on, head it clear. So it comes to injury time, a minute into added time, corner to us, we're pushing forward. Are we going to do it? Actually, no, we're not going to do it, because we don't look like doing it. All huff, all show and no go, all huff and puff. But what happens? Comes across, goalkeeper gets ball, flops down like Charlie Caroli, Blackpool's own clown, Charlie Caroli. I know we're playing Blackpool next week. Flops down like a good one, and he's been dead to the world as though there's a sniper in the crowd. I thought snipers only had one bullet, but I think I was wrong on that and all. So he's gone down like a sniper, and poor Max Stryek, poor lad. He's down, and I'm feeling sorry for him because he's seriously hurt. Then ups he pops, drop ball, and he must have been injured because he can't quite get down to pick it up. Can't quite, so he goes for, can't quite pick it up, just gets to it. As Sam Cosgrove gets there, there's a coming together. Some people will give it as a foul, and there's some people that think it were a foul. In the context of the game, there's no way he's giving that as a foul. No way. If he gives that a foul, there's going to be 10 penalties a game. Every corner is going to end up in a penalty. So he goes down like a good one. Not only does he go down like Norman Wisdom shouting Mr. Grimsdale out, crying to his son, he drops the damn ball. Sammy plays a blinder, gets it, taps it into net, job's a good one. I think he's singing Tears of a Clown to him afterwards. Drops it. So they're off to referee. It's the fastest that goalkeeper had gone since the 30th minute getting to referee. Considering he's been absolutely poleaxed twice, he managed to get to referee pretty quick. Got a booking for his trouble. And, it's what it is. They get a sending off. Someone's going off with their manager. Goodness knows what's going off in total, but altogether, an absolute embarrassment. Now, before you ask me, if that had have happened to us, if that had been Killip had gone down like that, I'd have said, let the goal stand because it's a flipping embarrassment. And I don't want that in my club. Wasting time like that and flopping down like that, like a salmon. Down he went, trying to get a part in Swan Lake. I swear to God. Pathetic, absolutely pathetic. An embarrassment to professional football and his club. I'm all right now.
A very comprehensive assessment there of everything that went on. Al, sporting your new away shirt, I could see there as well. I mean, me and Tom didn't get the memo of matching shirts on this show. So you and Andy must have a private chat that we're not privy to. And
there's me saying I wasn't going to get one. I've gone against my word. It's disgusting. Well, hey ho. What about Strychek? Crikey, I think he went up to him, Cosgrove, and just said boo, and that's how he felt. He wanted to sniper. He just frightened him, he thought it was Halloween. Bit late though. But before that, what about that WE slam dunk when he should have had penalty at Pontien? What wasn't given? That was just before we scored. But honestly, truthfully, that were a cold night, a dour performance, very little chances. Highlight for me was he ended up with 74 minutes. Didn't he?
Luke O'Connell?
Luke, it's all right. It's this here at Filey. Luke O'Connell got 74 minutes after two 30 minutes, didn't he? So, yeah, he was the bright spark. And what about that crunching tattle of Lucas by East Stand? It got crowd up and at him, didn't it? It raised the tempo, that tattle. And I thought he was the only one who wanted it more than anybody. And we've got to get Cotter away from that right wing back. We've got to get Jordan Williams back in there and get Lapata back in. That'll settle us down for me. Because maybe one leg could get past a player and put a better cross in. But it is what it is, isn't it?
You couldn't tell.
Hey?
You couldn't tell.
No, you start. So yeah, it's the most bizarrest victory you'll ever see at a game of football. What a week we've had. Thrown out at FA Cup, bizarre goal. What next? And for me, Neil Collins definitely got to get out of jail card, because if that had been a draw, 2 points out of 6, they'd have been after him. Our fans would have been not very happy.
So hold on, are we not doing a preview at Sutton United Cup game this weekend? Then have we been in that?
We'll get that one. We'll get a miss.
All right.
We'll get a miss. I'll leave that one on private on YouTube so no one can see that one. Tom, obviously, the main talking point is that goal which we did score, but performance-wise, again, sort of Wycombe didn't really come to attackers necessarily, and it seemed like one of those games where we really could have got going, and you can see sort of the captain personality in which Luke has got coming to the forefront. As I mentioned there, that big tackle that sort of it got the fans involved, and I think he's much more of a natural leader on the pitch that I think we've been missing for this first part of the season.
Yeah, without a doubt, he's the driving force of us midfield. Without him, we look lethargic. Styles looks slow, and I don't understand why. He should really be lighting this league up. On paper, we've got the best midfield in the league. I would argue. On grass, it's just not happening. It just slow every time Kane and Styles seem to get the ball. It slows down, and I thought once Styles came off and McAtee dropped back into midfield, it added a bit of pace into his midfield, and when we started zipping it around a little bit more, and obviously Cosgrove coming on as well, I think livened it up in the second half. But it wasn't a great watch. It was better, but it's just boring, really. Is the way to describe it. It's we pass it around a lot, and the idea of possession football is to dictate the tempo, but we're making it really slow, and we just need a bit of impetus. We just need quick passes to get it through the thirds, and to actually have an attack and to create an opportunity. Everything seems to be coming down left hand side through Cadden, or through Cadden's corners. All his chances seem to be from him, and I think I agree with Al. Like Cotter on that right hand side, he seems to try and guff up Megs all the time and just runs into the player. And I just feel like you almost need another trick. It's just it just doesn't. He just seems to want to get to that byline and cross it in. And his trick is to try and Megs them and to run through them, and he just falls over and then
He's a one-trick pony, Tom. He's a one-trick pony. That's it.
Yeah. It's a little bit hard to watch as well, because there's someone on his inside. He's screaming for ball just to play a simple ball, and then he tries to take left back on and fails miserably, and crowd then get on his back, and it's hard. It's hard to watch, and I just feel Williams has got a much better cross on him. I mean, he was fairly decent last season, got a lot of assists, and I agree with Al. Sooner Lopata gets into defence, DeGevney on right hand side alongside Williams, I think that shows up as defence, and it also helps us in attack.
Yeah, I think it's almost at the minute, Andy, that the balance is just not quite right across the team. Of we're either forced to go down one side much more than the other, and then be open on the other side. But it was sort of nice to see when McAtee did drop a little bit deeper, Styles came off and Cosgrove came on, that you saw that shift and a little bit of change, which I think, I'll correct me if I'm wrong, was sort of similar to what happened at Lincoln. So when Cosgrove came on, it sort of changed the game a touch as well. So it's nice to see. I mean, there's two ways of looking at it. Of we're not starting with a strongest 11, and the plan is to bring Cosgrove on against tighter defenders, so it looks like he's having much more of an impact. Or would you sit more on the fence of starting your best 11, which I know I would much rather prefer to do that.
Just don't overthink it. Sam Cosgrove has come on latish on or partway through the second half and had a real impact by his size, the way he can hold the ball, the way he can bring others in. That's what we need from the first minute, not the 60th, 70th, 74th minute. We need it from the start. They're both absolutely right. Jordan Williams needs to be at right wing back. I've been saying it for weeks because he puts a good cross in. And there's no point, even if you don't make somebody, even if you get around somebody, there's got to be an end result. If you're just going to go around somebody and then pass it back to the goalkeeper, it's wasted effort. If you want to get the ball put in the box, you either pull it back so somebody can flick it in, or you get to a byline and flick it in. But it's got to have an end result. So the strikers have got to have a chance to get to it. I also don't understand why, if Barry's playing down on the right-hand side, we aren't going to striker going to the near post because he's never going to get it back to far post. It's always going to come to front post. So think about who's playing there and and anticipate that. But for me, you're absolutely right. Whether Mile plays in the middle of the back and Lapata plays on the right or other way around, I don't mind. I really liked Mile playing in the centre. I thought he held it well together. Whether that's the best position,
I just think he pushes forward, Andy.
Yeah, I know. Well, maybe Lapata would. I don't know. Well. I don't know if Lapata would. I don't know. It could be either. But it would certainly make the defence stronger and make us so we wouldn't be as weak. Because I think we're looking suspect and again weak at the back. And that's because we're expecting Jordan Williams, for me, to play in a position that is not particularly suited for. He's not the physically strong centre half, the Brusson centre half that we need, especially in this league. But he is good at wing back. He can get forward. He's like lightning. He can get forward. He can interpass. I personally like him interpassing with Adam Phillips on the right hand side, and I also think that Herbie Kane plays better when he's on the left hand side of midfield rather than on the right hand side. But that's my personal preference, and I've got no greater knowledge than that. It's just what I think. But yeah, we should definitely be having him at right wing back, and we should absolutely be having Sam Gosgrove up front, because you're right. It's all any decent crosses are coming in from the left hand side and Cadden, and it should be from both, because otherwise it's easy. They can almost leave their left side of defence because we ain't going to make out from it much. So, and concentrate on the left hand side. So it's got to be more even. Got to be more even than that, and Jordan would provide that on that side. It's his best position, and play your best team and play them don't overthink it. Play your best players in their position, and it's not that we're not having to fit people into square pegs into round holes. We're not having to do that. We've got players that can play in the positions that we want them to play. We're just not doing it. So that's the bit. That's the bit for me. I don't mind possession-based football if there's a purpose to it, but just lulling ourselves, as we said many times, lulling ourselves into lethargy helps nobody. Maybe it's part of the thing, we play for 90 minutes to bore the hell out of them, a bit like Swansea, and then knock the goalkeeper over in injury time and score. Maybe that's the way forward. Go up doing that. If we did that every week, we'd go up.
Fantastic game plan. Al, are you in the same camp of you'd like to see Sam Cosgrove starting out? Obviously, two appearances from the bench have looked strong, and it gives that little bit of a different dynamic to the side as well, of having sort of someone taller to aim for, that's strong and can compete. And it also, I think there's been too much chopping and changing with that front two for any partnership to really develop between, like Devante's the shoe-in, obviously, with his form this season. So it'd be nice to see someone up there with him, wouldn't it?
It is. For me, if we do that, we start with Cole and Cosgrove. Well, for me, McAtee's got to sit behind him in all. We've got to have McAtee in that three. And what impressed me as well on Tuesday night were Jallows. Cameo, I mean, he was sharp, he was quick, he was taking players and he beat two players, they offended him. I mean, number of fouls, what he ended up getting, and him not being on for that long, they knew Wycombe, how dangerous he was. for a 17-year-old, and they got stuck into him. And he was lucky because I know Jallo from under 21s. He's got a short fuse. In that last one, he did well. In fact, it was McAtee who held him back not to get involved. So there's more to come, I think, from Jallo.
That's what I want to see as well. I want to see us bring try to have a scrap with someone. That's my kind of play. That's my kind of team. Tom, man of the match. Who are you going for?
There's nobody else but Connell, really, is there? He just nailed on. If you're not saying him, possibly De Gevney, but it's Connell every day of the week. He was just everywhere. He was back-making challenges. He was pushing forward. At one time, I thought he was only man in midfield. To be honest with you, he was just everywhere. So yeah, it's got to be Connell.
Andy?
For me, if it were on both sides, it'd be Strike for me, because it did a reverse tumble down Ted. I think he needs to learn that if you're going to go down in your penalty area, don't do it in your own, do it in opposition penalty area. But for me,
is he tumble down Ted at year? Contender?
Like a reverse into that. I mean, it's not even trying for a penalty. Just beyond parody.
He's his own category for it.
Absolutely. I utterly understand what Tom's saying. But for me, I was absolutely freezing. And Sam Cosgrove gave me the biggest laugh I've had in years. It wound me up because I couldn't, me and John, my son, we couldn't stop laughing, and it wound us up. It were end of a drab game and it wound us up. And I was chuckling all the way home. And it took a long while to get out of that car park. I was chuckling all the way home. So Sam Cosgrove, thank you, Sam. And it just shows that housery don't always get rewarded. So well done, Sam. Play it again, Sam. I'll get on now with them.
Al?
Luke Connell, by a mile, by a long mile. He was the only one who was geeing players up, dictating it. And as I said, that just for that one tackle, what got the crowd on the feet and behind us yet again. It's just immense, just immense. It shows how much we missed him.
Yeah. Well, think of this, you two. I'm talking particularly about Tom and Alan. Just think, you go to the circus, and we all go, "Ooh, look at the trapeze artists. They show unbelievable skill, like Luca, unbelievable skill." But when it comes down to it, we want the two clowns playing. We want the clowns on the pitch, and we got a goalie and a striker. We had the clowns on, and that's what got everybody going.
Well, you should know that clowns on, Lee.
Exactly, Al. Exactly. I know.
I
am Charlie Caroli, Al. I will be next Tuesday. No, he's a Blackpool clown, famous clown from Blackpool, Charlie Caroli. Just so you know.
Yeah, I think that's the second time you've mentioned him in this show. I think that's the second time you've mentioned him.
It's more than once, Josh. Don't worry about it.
I think he's had more mention than Wycombe keeper, I think, so far.
He is Wycombe keeper.
Anything else anyone wants to cover from that game?
Not really.
I can tell you that we had.
There's not much else to cover.
I'll take predictions if you like. 69 predictions. Different because it were even against Lincoln. It were even. We back to a bit more positive. It's not as we're not totally positive, but 47 said a Barnsley win, so that were good. 11 said a draw. 11 said a defeat, which isn't surprising given what that the turned us over with their antics last year. But three people got the 1-0 scoreline right. So whilst there'll be one person unhappy because thought it would be 0-0. Three people would be happy. So there's Andy Goddard, he got it. Andy Goddard, J Rob 7, J Rob 6. He's grown up. J Rob 7, it's J Rob 6. Jordan, our friend Jordan, he got it right. Bless his cotton socks. And last but not least, George Webster, little Al, got it absolutely spot on and shoots up the table, shoots up there. So he's doing well. I could tell you who's wearing the table if you want in mini league. If you want, If you
I don't
both,
know. I don't think I'm top anymore, so I'm not that interested anymore.
Not interested, Andy.
you know,
Shoot.
I feel like we
will.
also. I feel like we
I'll
also.
tell you.
George have a
I'll
tug,
tell
yeah.
you because other people are interested, even if it's
Did
not you.
Did I
At the
predict to
top.
win?
Hey?
Did I predict to
2-1.
win?
You
Did
went
I?
2-1.
Oh, I'll take a point. Oh my!
No,
be all right,
you
actually.
didn't. No.
No.
You said 1-1. You got nothing, love.
No.
Nothing. Nothing at
To
all.
be fair, I did think it were a foul, and it should have been a 0-0 draw.
You're dropping like a stone, Josh. As Craig says, Barnsley's going to do. We said Josh is dropping like a stone. On 7 points, we've got Marley Clinton now equal top with Smokey who's up there. Little Georgie's on 6 with me. 6. Richard Gomersall, Ian Jackson, all on 6. You, Josh, are now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12th.
That's where you want to be.
Back on form.
That's where you want to be.
He's dropping even quicker than Barnsley are allegedly doing, Al. Even quicker.
It's all right.
He'll be bottom by Christmas.
As it gets to the last 5 games, that's where you want to be. You want to be run for playoffs. You want to hit it in form. That's what I'm going for there. I'm going to try and hit it in form instead. Right. I think that just about rounds up this show. We'll be back at the weekend to preview the Bristol Street Motors round of 16. Round of 32, is it? Actually, before it gets to 16. Because it's still north and south split, isn't it?
First round. Just say first round.
It's 2 16s, isn't it, in 2 groups, north and south.
Yeah. I won't call it round of 32 then.
Oh, by the way, I spent a lot of time last night with Joe Beardzone. He sends everybody his best wishes, all us 4 and everybody else that appears on the show, all the viewers and what have you. And he did point out, for both Tom and Alan, did point out that Josh seems to start programs in the shows in the very same way. Let's get into it. He says, nick that off me, because I said that. Is
Copyright, Andy, copyright.
Copyright, yeah. He said, he should get something for that. Let's get into it. Say a bit about what's going to come on. They said, let's get into it. All from Joe.
Look,
Spirit lives on, Al.
Exactly. You don't want to broke. You want to fix what's not broken. Do you know what I mean? It works well. It's a nice segue into it. It works nicely. Although I will never say it ever again from this point on now. And I will.
He's also amazed. Also amazed that you're not a miserable sod as well. But that's just a minor thing.
There's still time, We're only 20 games into the season.
I know.
Well,
we drop like Craig Stone. When we drop like Craig Stone, then you can get your miserable head back on.
Yes. So we will be back at the weekend. We will be discussing Neil Collins, as it seems to have split the fan base down the middle. So we'll discuss that, as I mentioned a few weeks ago. And we'll also be previewing the Blackpool game in the Bristol Street Motors Trophy. We'll see you later, you Reds.
You Reds.
Yeah, Reds. You Whites.